Welcome to the Magic Kingdom. It's very nice. It's a misty day. You can see the cloud cover. And it is Easter, actual Easter 2023. I don't know if we've ever been to a Disney park on Easter. Maybe Disneyland way back in the day when we used to go there. There's a possibility, but I don't remember it if we did. But it's odd to see nothing over here. Like last time we were here, there were like the Christmas trees or the Halloween decorations. And maybe not the last time, because I think the last time we were here, was in early February, and they had the statue back, which is what they have when they don't have something else there. We did not rope drop this morning. We decided to sleep in a little bit. Neither Josh nor I are on our A game on this trip. We're both a little injured. So we decided just to get up when we wanted to. We had to get up because this is very exciting news. The Tron Lightcycles has opened. It went through previews, and then it was soft opening, which meant that if you were in the park, you could do it even though it wasn't technically open. What is this? Oh.
Just checking.
I don't know where they are. I gotta go find these guys now. Oh, they're coming down Main Street on the horse-drawn trolley.
Which you don't come to see very often in
As I was saying before I was so delightfully interrupted, is that the Tron Lightcycles have opened finally. They went through the testing. We tried to get annual pass holder like previews, but they were all sold out by the time I could get into it. And the likelihood that we'd be here at the time we get that is so low anyway, because we can only take trips at certain times. So, but it was worth a shot. It had all sold out by the time I got into it. I mean, the wait on the website was like 2 hours. Anyway, then it went through soft opening, which means that even though it wasn't technically open, it was working, and if you happen to be in the park, you could go ride it. And then finally, it opened. And only like earlier this week, I think it opened.
It opened last Monday.
Last Monday. So a week ago tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's doing the virtual queue now. I've explained this before for other rides, but with the virtual queue, you have to get up. If you're a park resort guest, this is another one of the reasons why it's worthwhile to be a park resort guest when it comes to these things. At 7 a.m., you can get online and then get into a virtual queue. There's no standby line. There's only the virtual queue. And I think you can pay for it if you want to ride it. So we got up 6:45 or so, because you never know when you're staying in a Disney resort. Some tips about getting the virtual queue. Don't be on the Wi-Fi, because everyone else is too. Be on your cellular plan. That way you're not fighting with everybody else in that resort who's trying to do it on the Wi-Fi. Because typically Wi-Fi is faster. I absolutely agree with that. But if everyone is using it, it slows it down, because everyone's refreshing their screen at that exact same time. So be on your regular one, as long as your signal is good. And that's why I mentioned we got up at 6:45. Sometimes we have to get up and go out of the room and find a better place in the resort for our signal to be better. And so we did get group 55, and they're
54, yeah,
54, something like that.
Whatever. Yeah.
And they are now on
1 through 20.
1 through 20. So it's
We
not
just
going to be
opened up the
too
park,
much
too.
longer because
Yeah.
the park just opened. So we don't want to get caught up in too much now. We were going to go ride something. Well, and we'd have time. Once your number comes up, you usually have an hour before you have to be there to check in. So we could go ride something right now, and I think we are. We're just undecided as to what. Since this was a short trip and we're coming again in a couple of weeks, we're not planning to do anything specific. We just want to come here and enjoy the ambiance and have a good time. And, ride things if we can, but we're not going to be devastated if we can't ride everything that we always ride when we're here on our trips. There's plenty of time for that later on the longer trip. In the meantime, we can enjoy beautiful views such as this handsome castle. You'll notice that the decorations, it still has the 50th colors, kind of that bluish, but the big 50 is removed from where the clock is. Now it's just back to being clock. You do still see some 50 branding, like right there on that turret. And when you walk in, it's still on the railroad station. But it is they're slowly removing it and replacing it with 100th anniversary decorations. I'm not sure what that's going to be. I mean, there's a lot of merchandise for it. I don't know what the decorations are going to look like yet. But anyway, you can see that it's starting to fill up. And I have a feeling that because it's Easter, it's probably going to be pretty busy here today. But that's okay. Again, we don't need to do everything. We're just going to enjoy it, even if it's crowded. So now let's go find something to do. Here's what it looks like when you have the virtual queue. So we've already gotten into it. So we have a boarding group of 54, and you can see it's boarding 1 through 20 right now. What's interesting is in the past with the virtual queues, it would give you an estimated time to return, so you had an idea of when you would show up. But maybe this one goes down enough, or they stop doing that, or don't feel comfortable doing it anymore. Anyway, this doesn't tell us exactly when we might be coming back or estimating when we might be coming back. Instead, it just tells you what your group is and what groups are going now, and you just need to keep an eye on it for your turn. Decided to do the Haunted Mansion while we're waiting, and it's a 20-minute wait. That's not too bad. So we'll be in and out of that long before our time comes up, I think. Who knows, maybe it goes real fast. Anyway, this is my favorite ride. Maybe that'll change when, or my favorite ride in this park is the Haunted Mansion. Maybe that'll change when the Tron one opens. And I say that right now because then we'll go to Big Thunder and I'll say, that's my favorite ride. There's just a lot of rides that I like at Magic Kingdom that I enjoy riding over and over again. But there are some must-dos. If we come here, Haunted Mansion is always a must-do. No matter how little or as much time as we have, Haunted Mansion is one of the ones we always rush to.
Hinges creak in doorless chambers, and strange and frightening sounds echo through the hall. Whenever candlelights flicker, where the air is deathly still, that is the time when ghosts are present, practicing their terror.
It's getting older and older.
Delight. I am your host, your ghost host. Our tour begins here in this gallery. Here where you see paintings of some of our guests as they appeared in their corruptible, mortal state. Kindly step all the way in, please, and make room for everyone. There's no sense of this disquieting metamorphosis. Is this haunted room actually stretching? Or is it your imagination? And consider this dismaying observation. This chamber has no windows and no doors.
Ghost writers the literary world has ever known. They have all retired to the Haunted Mansion.
probably not easy to see, but those eyes turn into the wallpaper because the wallpaper has faces. But I think it's too dark in here to see that. I certainly would not want to have to vacuum an endless hallway. It's a great illusion, though. Let me in here. I'm trapped in this coffin, see? This part with all the pictures and stuff makes me feel like a spirit Halloween. I've always really liked that clock, though. And this part is really awesome.
Awaken the spirits with your tambourines. Creepies and crawlies, toads in a pond. Let there be music from regions beyond. Wizards and witches, wherever you dwell, give us a hint by ringing a bell. Serpents and spiders, tail of a rat, call in the spirits wherever they're at.
Two ghosts sitting at the table having a tea party have not been here for several visits.
They have selected you to fill our quota. They'll want you until you return.
I never remember to catch this as we get into the Haunted Mansion and when you're leaving it because it's relatively recent. But if you have a Magic Band Plus, there's a part where you're standing in the queue or walking through the queue, in and out, that it will beat like a heartbeat and your Magic Band will turn red. It's pretty cool. It's a awesome thing to do with the Magic Band Plus. A little minor thing, but it's really neat because it's a very doot-doot kind of heartbeat. It doesn't make noise, but it does that kind of same feeling on your wrist because it vibrates. And then you can see there's the red light that just sort of barely flashes. Nice touch with the Magic Band Plus. Popping into Memento Mori, which is just outside the Haunted Mansion, which is right over there. It's essentially the Haunted Mansion shop, to see what kind of merchandise they have now. It changes every so often. Check out some of the Haunted Mansion merchandise. Room with a View, or Tomb. I just like those ears. From Regions Beyond, Madame Leota. Madame Leota is one of my favorite things in that ride. Ooh, that's a nice dress. Nice shirt, too. Ooh, that's a Tommy Bahamas. I bet that's like 150 bucks. Oh, yeah, it is 150 bucks. Spirit jersey. I think that's the back of it. Again, Madame Leota, love that. I just don't love the colors. They're not the colors that I wear. Maybe I should branch out? Do I have the right color palette for it? Let me know in the comments. Can I pull off those colors? These 4 puzzles are cool. Oh, I don't think I've seen this before. Maybe. I like that coat. kind of like a bag purse. There's a mirror here and there's a face in it. I'm not sure if the face is it's not always there. Oh no, there we go, faded away. So if you happen to be looking in the mirror, the face could appear. Pretty cool. Stand-ups, or stand-ups, excuse me, like things you can hang. There are, so you can stand them up too. Just various kinds of art. We have, I'm not sure if it's these ones, but we have those postcards, essentially, the postcard size, and we have never put them up. We really need to do that. And every time we come here, we say that, and then we don't do it. So I will try to remember this time. Oh, unimagined chess set. So it's really cool. And they have ornaments. I was gonna say Christmas ornaments, but I guess you can hang them on anything you want.
Your cat bed, Clifford.
No way.
It's a Doom Buggy cat bed.
It's
or
a
dog bed.
Doom Buggy, yeah, pet bed.
Isn't that great?
Oh, that's so cool. He'd never use it.
No, that's just to spite us.
Yep. I mean, he might. He sometimes uses those things. You just never know. Our cat is fickle.
Cats are.
Cats are fickle. I do like all these kind of holders and stuff.
Candles. He's got the guns.
I don't feel comfortable wearing tank tops or sleeveless shirts, but those are pretty cool. I like this kind of heavier overshirt too. There's a lot of good merchandise in here. We're working our way through Fantasyland from, oh geez, what's that called? No, I wanted to say New Orleans Square. Liberty Square. Thank you, Josh. Like, all I could remember was New Orleans Square, which it is not. That's in Disneyland. So you're walking that way to the left-hand side. You have the only tangled representation of the park, which happens to be some bathrooms. They're beautiful bathrooms, but I think it deserves better representation than that. And then It's a Small World's over here on your left. That's at 40 minutes, which is kind of a lot for Small World. That's how you can tell it's busy. It's one of those touchstone rides where if it's more than 30 minutes, it means that the park is busy. And Peter Pan's over here on the right. This is always busy. It's generally at about 60 minutes, almost all day. And yeah, it's 50 right now. So that's actually pretty good in comparison, but it's a very popular ride with kids. And I don't think it has a height requirement. And so it's real easy for people to take young kids on it. And then straight ahead is the carousel. Real hard to miss that. On the right-hand side is Mickey's PhilharMagic, which has recently, within the last year, I think, been refurbished. They cleaned up the animation. That's the part that's been refurbished. And then they added a scene from Coco. And to the left is the Pinocchio Village Haas, which is a counter service restaurant that apparently has a clock bell that tells the time. I don't think I knew that. Yeah, it's just 10 o'clock. And, oh, I love the carousel. I know they're simple rides, but I like carousels. And then over there is some restaurants and snack shops. There's the Friar's Nook, Storybook Treats. And you can also meet the princesses right over there on the other side of the carousel where it says Fairy Tale Hall. And this is sort of the old part of Fantasyland that we're looking at here. There's also restrooms over there, by the way, in case you're looking for restrooms. This is the old part. These mark the area of the new Fantasyland that used to be Toontown here, but many, many years ago, they redid it and it became new Fantasyland. It's still a part of it, but it's a new version of it. And, oh, that's cool. They have signs up. I don't know if you can read that sign, but it says that it's now boarding. And so if you don't have the app for some reason, I mean, you need the app to get the virtual queue. But if you didn't have it for some reason, you could see that they're on 19 to 28 right now. All right, so down here is the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Also, a very popular ride because it's a roller coaster that is set up for younger people. I mean, you know, older people can ride it too, but the height requirement isn't as much as your more thrill rides. And so that will be at over an hour all day long, usually around 2 hours. And the Winnie the Pooh ride is over there, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And that continues down towards the teacups. But if you go this way, you can pass Enchanted Tales with Belle, where she retells the story of Beauty and the Beast. And there's a really cool effect with a mirror that turns into a door. Look it up, it's actually really interesting. And people have done the breaking of the fourth wall and showing how it works. But it is really cool. And then there's the restaurant over here, Be Our Guest. You can see Beast's Castle up there using a little bit of forced perspective. Technically you're eating in the castle when you eat there. We used to eat there fairly often for lunch because they would have a a la carte lunch where you could just order what you wanted. And then they'd have a pre-feed dinner. And so we wouldn't really do that, the pre-feed part. And then they changed it all to pre-feed during the pandemic for lunch and dinner and changed the menu. And so we haven't been back since, which is too bad because I really used to enjoy going in there, but we'll probably never go in there again unless something changes. And since this is the Beauty and the Beast area, we come across Village Gifts straight ahead. And to the left of that is Gaston's Tavern. We'll come out and see that. I love the Fountain of Gaston and LeFou out front. Gaston's Tavern serves a variety of food. It's counter service stuff. They're famous for their giant cinnamon roll, which if you have a family of, well, if you're here with a family, you can get one or two, and yeah, 3 to 4 people could easily share one, depending on how much they eat. The problem with that is any place that serves cinnamon rolls means the tables are always sticky. Always, no matter where you sit, your table's gonna be sticky. And then here's the Ariel ride. I think it's Ariel's Undersea Adventure is the full title of it. This right now is only at about 5 minutes. It doesn't tend to be busy too often unless the park is really, really, really busy. So I expect later that this will go up by quite a bit. But since it's still early and everyone's hitting the thrill rides, it's not very high yet. It's 10 minutes now. It doubled since I last looked at it on the app. And so this takes us around to the Storybook Circus area. That's where you find your Dumbo ride. There's actually 2 of those, so they can do double the capacity. And there's the Barnstormer, which is Goofy's Barnstormer. Again, it's like a kid's roller coaster, but a very small kind of roller coaster, not like the Seven Dwarfs, which is excellently themed. I don't even think it's a minute long. And there's Big Top Treats, is what it's called. It's like a circus atmosphere over here. Obviously, it's Storybook Circus. And there's Big Top Treats. And we actually like that shop. In the middle of it, they sell the usual kinds of treats that you see in the, like the confectionery, that sort of thing. And then all around it are D-Tech, for example. You can design your own phone case or headphone case or magnet. That's what D-Tech is. It didn't used to be there, but when they were working on Tron, they had closed down that building over in Tomorrowland where they used to have the D-Tech, so they had to move it somewhere. We didn't know where it was. Just the last couple of trips we came here, we saw it there. And I actually got for my headphones case from there. So I got an Epcot one, but there's one for each kind of park. And they're really good. Like, they're a really nice, strong rubber. It's awesome. One thing I want to check while we're here is if that back walkway to Tomorrowland is open. They had closed it while Tron was being built, and it was our favorite way to get around there because most people didn't know about it. But I don't know if it's been reopened yet, so that's something we have to check out. And then finally, there's, oh, you see the Barnstormer going by, little roller coaster. There's also a water play area over here. I don't think it's running right now because it's kind of cool and it's going to be rainy. But that area you see in front of you is a Casey Jr. water play area. And behind it is the Fantasyland station for the railroad. There's 3 different stations. That's a Fantasyland. There's one on Main Street. And then there's one way back in Frontierland right next to Splash Mountain. Here we are inside Storybook Treats. You can see out the doors there. There's the Dumbo ride. Here's the D-Tech I was talking about where you can come and design your own. So they have some that are pre-made over here that you can choose from. So whatever phone size it is, they have some that you can see. And then you can come over here and touch this. And then like, oh, I want to design a magic band or a phone case. So if I wanted to do, oh, there we go. Just run a little slow. And then you find, whoops, I didn't want to choose that one. So you kind of find, and you can move it like, oh, what do I want to look for kind of thing. And then once you buy it, it gives you an, or actually once you design it, it gives you a number to go up to the register over there. You tell them your number, you pay for it, because they're not going to start making it unless you pay for it. But there's pretty cool designs. I like them a lot. Oh, you can also get like magnets if you want to have specific ones. Oh, I miss Wes. Wes would love that magnet. If he was still around, I would buy that for him. But that's the D-Tech. It's cool to come over here and play with it and buy things if you want to. Otherwise, you see that there's lots of different merchandise. It's a circular store, lots of different kind of merchandise. And then the middle has slushies. And if you come around this way, you'll see the treats, for which star the place is named. And it's your typical Disney stuff, right? Like very sweet frosting looking cupcakes and apples. Oh, they have some for Easter though. That's pretty cool. Yeah, get some of those. Oh, and it says Werther's Original Holiday Caramel Apple. Oh my. And then there's an orange bird up there. It's pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to see new things, and I had no idea that they had the caramel kusha, I think is how it's pronounced, here. Look, Josh, they have the caramel kusha. I thought it was only available in Germany. Oh, also check it out. They have these Easter ones. They're also Werther's caramel apples. Yeah, the two there. Anyway, we sometimes find ourselves surprised by the things that we see. Almost everything in here we've seen in here before, but there are a couple things that we've never seen before for the holiday or for the s'more cereal treat bar. I know.
And it says new.
I don't.
There's a bunny butt.
Yeah, there is a bunny butt. I just noticed that.
Oh my goodness, that's
Yep,
hilarious.
character-inspired crisp rice cereal treat. Okay, so it's a Rice Krispie treat in the shape of a bunny butt.
And dipped.
Essentially,
White
it's
chocolate.
if you notice that design, it's a Mickey Mouse head
Yeah, flip it.
that's just been flipped over and given a cottontail frosting cottontail and some feet. So they just took their design and flipped it, and I love that.
Same thing over here.
Same thing with like the pineapple here, where you have the it's just a sugar cookie, but it's shaped like a pineapple, and the orange bird is just a Mickey. It's inventive. Those other ones, I don't think are as inventive. That bunny butt is very inventive.
It's very cute too.
There's the Barnstormer line right there, and there's Tron. And yes, the walk, I mean, it's different than it used to be, but you can walk from that area that doesn't just dead end anymore over into Tomorrowland right near Tron. This is the outside portion of the track that's covered up, so even if it's raining, they can still run this ride. Anything that has an outdoor portion is going to close during the rain. And there it goes. I'm really looking forward to riding that. The ride cars are, I know that's the one goal we really have for today, was to do it. Yeah, the entrance here is really neat. The ride cars are set up like the Tron Lightcycles from the movie, and you don't sit in them the way you do in a traditional roller coaster. Oh, you hear the music. You get on them like a bike, very much like Avatar, Flight of Passage. It's that kind of vehicle. I'm not sure if you're leaned forward more or you're still kind of upright. They do have a, thank you, train. They do have a tester car that you can use because people of certain dimensions may not be able to ride Tron. Anyway, I'm mentioning there's been a sort of a controversy about Tron because not everyone can fit into the ride vehicles. And that's going to be true of any ride, but one of the
new ride,
Yeah.
new ride, it'll fit more people, it'll be better.
And they do have some cars, you might have to wait for it, that can accommodate people of different sizes too. So it's not completely off, you just might have to wait a few minutes. And it's not gonna be able to accommodate every single person, but one of the Imagineers was talking about it, and they're like, look, there's a very fine line between allowing a lot of people to be able to get on it, or everyone to get on it, and not have little kids fall out. You know, there is a height requirement, but still, there's a fine line there. And so, we're gonna see. I'm a little worried that I might not fit on it, but I have fit on anything I wanted to ride in Universal, and they're usually even more strict, so we'll see how that goes. Some Tron merchandise available. I have a feeling those light up, which would actually be pretty cool. They're just like light strips. So they look like on people. They also have the discs and some backpacks that you can put the disc into and then pull it off. Oh, and it has Bluetooth speaker, that's cool. But I love the fact that you can stick it to your backpack there. More clothing. Oh, I should tell you the prices. These are, that's 60. This is like a tank top, it's 50. That jacket is, oh, it's like exposed shoulders, interesting. How much is that one? 100, wow.
That's something, you see it. Light up a gold costume.
Yeah, they're more like costumes, which is why they're more expensive.
Not quite. Like there's a sweatshirt, which is actually pretty cool.
And they do have the discs. You can see that it lights up here, as well as like a little Tron maquette that also lights up. Closer look at the disc, it's LED, so you can change the colors on it, and you can see where it plugs in. And yeah, there's that same one with the Bluetooth speaker. And this is an identity chip. Oh, okay, I need to learn more about this, but there's little chips in there. And that's the Sam Flynn one. So I wonder what happens when you add that to, whoop, let me get that back on there. Because this is a Rinsler, and the yellow one is Clue. So I don't know what happens when you put it on. I wonder if it changes the color of this or of that. All right, I'll have to do some more research. Here's a Tron shirt that I think is pretty cool. I like that color a lot. What is the price on that? There is no price on that. Okay. Let's check any of these others. Ah, here we go. It's up here. 45. 45 for a t-shirt is steep. I mean, it is a new ride, but it's just a t-shirt. They do have some limited edition magic bands that you can get. And they have, that looks like a pin, I guess? It's hard to tell what that is. I think it's a pin. They have other pins too. Like that one's definitely a pin. Anything over here? Nope, more of the same t-shirt. There's a kid one. Which is cool. Yep, handlebars, so you just put it on something. More kid stuff. That looks like a bowling ball bag. I like it though.
I think it might be for this.
Oh, maybe it's for your helmet. Because you can buy a helmet too.
Not a protective device.
I'm not, yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think you can like, yeah, not a protective device. It's not meant to be used for like an actual helmet. But it would definitely fit in this bowling ball shaped container. And then that's cool. Hats. Live to race. That's what that says. There's cups. Over here, this is more of those backpacks where you can put your disc. More hats. Another t-shirt. This is clever. It's vintage identity disc, which is essentially just a frisbee, but frisbee is a copyrighted word, so you can't use it. Mugs, there's always mugs. Is it just like a light up wall sign?
Yeah, it reminds me of the one though from the video game.
Yeah, it looks just like the video
style.
game, yeah.
Totally.
And then they have some old style
That's very cool.
of the figures,
Super 7.
because you have,
Yeah, pretty awesome.
looks like Yori Warrior action figure, and then there's
This is
Sark.
actually Ram and Lightcycle.
Ram and
Tron.
Lightcycle.
Now look at this other one.
Yep, there's Flynn in his light cycle, and then there's Tron in his light cycle. And some cups up there. How much are these? I want to see how much this is. The $70 for the light cycle with the action figure.
Super 7 is one
Yeah.
of the most expensive
Yeah, Super 7 is one of the most expensive groups.
Niche market.
Yeah, Josh says it's niche. Josh collects a lot of figures, and Super 7 is known for their good products, but it's generally niche products, not mass-produced, and so they're more expensive. These mugs are kind of cool. I like these. Usually mugs are about 20 bucks here. How much are these ones? 25, okay. That's not terrible. And looks like kind of water bottled. I mean, it doesn't have to be water, but that one is 30. Light up frame. Some more clothes for kids. If you have a kid, these ones are 30. That's 45. It's a little jacket. By the way, the building we're in used to be that power building that was right next to, or is right next to Space Mountain, and you would come out of Space Mountain into this building. I don't know if they rerouted that or people still do, although I have not seen people come out of it. So they've repurposed it to a Tron store instead of a Space Mountain store. But it is that same building that I always say looks like the Hall of Justice from the Super Friends. It's that store, just repurposed. Over in the corner, we have some Flynn's merchandise. Flynn's Arcade. I love the tokens. We got a gold one and silver one. And cups. Oh, does this turn around? How does that work? Oh, they just
spins.
Just kind of spin them. Flynn's hat. That hat's pretty cool.
Yeah. But this actually has Lake Buena Vista location now
Lake
open.
Buena Vista location now open.
I just think that's cool.
Space Paranoids. Oh, that's cool. It's a light up magnet. It looks like a... That is really cool.
We can buy one. That could be what we buy.
Like, that might be what we get to put on our fridge, because that is really nifty. How much is that?
15.
15,
so
and then
12.
we get 20% off.
That's not bad. That's not cheap. I think the same price is it's cheaper than this.
I'd get that.
Okay.
All right, so this is Tron backpack, and then this looks like the old
Love
game.
that. I think that's wild.
And it just has the figures in it.
Yeah, I love the case. The
Things
box,
move around,
the
but
design.
that box design is really cool.
It really is.
All right, here's some information about that. When you insert your program's identity chip from the Tron Identity program into the remote control light cycle or the identity disc, the program's colors and audio will override the default program. So there is a default program, but you can change it by adding the different chips into it. So it's like the lightsabers, where you can have it change colors based on what kyber crystal you have. You have these ones, so Sam Flynn, Rinsler, Quarret, and Clue, and that will change how the device reacts, color-wise and sound-wise. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I was expecting, but I wasn't sure how it worked. We decided to do the People Mover. It has started to rain, very lightly, but it's coming down. It's consistent, as opposed to just sort of spitting the way it was before. You can see the dude in front of us on his coat, and people have their umbrellas out, but the People Mover is covered all the way, so it's continuing to go. They're only up to 32 on the Tron Lightcycles, so we're keeping an eye on that. When you get on the People Mover, it's one of those continuously loading ones where it's on this circular, and then you get on the circular thing, and then you get onto your vehicle. It's very much like Spaceship Earth in that way. And then you get to a certain point where you get into the regular, like we're going to start zooming off here in just a second, because we have passed the circular area, and here we go. We start to pick up speed. I wouldn't ever say that we go very fast,
This is
but
the TTA Blue Line, non-stop service
yeah,
around Tomorrowland.
it's a nice one.
At least the rain's not pelting us in the face.
Yeah, and the rain's not pelting us, which is wonderful. And there's Buzz Lightyear down there, hanging out on the stage.
Greetings, intergalactic travelers. Welcome aboard the People Mover, presented by Enterprise. I'm RX-5, your guide aboard this highway in the sky, the absolute best way to see Tomorrowland. And my stars, is there ever lots to see? From spacecraft to monster labs, there's really nothing like today in Tomorrowland.
For your safety, if you have wings, jetpacks, or gravity polarizers, please do not take flight while on water. Thank you.
Definitely gray, definitely rainy. You can see the hub over there.
Tomorrowland Urban Planning and Star Traders. Transfer to Green.
And a good view of the castle all the time when you come around this corner.
Your express train keeps on rolling through the future. Right by two of my favorite
Yep,
spots.
it's still impressive in the rain. go to your first indoor area, where you get to go by the
Progress City.
Progress City.
Walt Disney's amazing dream for a community of tomorrow. Did you know Progress City inspired?
That was the idea of Epcot, was that he actually wanted to build a working, functional city. It just never got to that point. If he had survived, I wonder if they would have tried to keep doing that.
Traders, home to the greatest goods in the galaxy, except action stars. Those are the ones.
More Tron stuff, yep.
Invaded Tomorrowland.
You can see all the people in their hiding under things because of the rain, or wearing their raincoats or their ponchos. Oh wow. I think being on those cars in this rain would be really awful. But people are doing it. Good for them.
We've done Big Thunder in the rain and he pelted, so.
And there's Tron over there. Every time I filmed this when we were here, it was still being built. You can't see my air quotes. And now it's built. And you can see all the people going up there. I can't wait until it's us. And can I read the number that they're on? I think it says 34.
34, yep. I have it on my
Yep,
phone.
okay.
We're still moving slowly, but we're gonna get there.
We're getting there. We're getting there. 20 away. We're 20 away.
Yes.
We can do it. We just really wanted to not go down. Yeah.
I mean, we're here for a while.
Yeah, I
but we
mean,
don't want to fight it.
it would be a bummer if we couldn't do it on this trip because we were really looking forward to it. But if not, we'll do it next trip.
We got a thing.
This is Starport 75.
And then it takes you into the building that has Space Mountain.
Rocketport's distant deep space destinations.
You can't tell this, but to the left and right of us are the cars going up for their initial journey on Space Mountain. And here at Starport 75, in California it's Starport 77 because those are the years that they opened in each place. Space Mountain is better in California. Fight me on that. Yeah, it looks like the rain's let up. That's nice. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like that all day. Yeah, Josh said I can live with that. I can live with that. If it only gets that light. If it starts pouring, that's when it's a pain to deal with. But if it stays somewhat light,
To your right,
then not a big deal.
Astro Orbiter, our celestial symbol of interplanetary harmony and fellowship. Hop aboard and launch high above Tomorrowland for a spin amongst the
I
planets.
just love watching all the people down there. I know it's called the People Mover, but I love it as the People Watcher.
Keep moving ahead.
Carousel of Progress is very popular right now, not surprisingly, because it's an indoor ride that goes for about, I don't know, like 12 or 15 minutes, something like that. But it makes perfect sense that people would be flocking to the indoor shows and rides when it rains like this. There's still a little bit of rain coming down, but not a lot. Decided to stop it since it's a cooler day and get a chai from Starbucks. Josh got the same thing. He gets other things too, but we both got the same thing today. Yeah, it just sounded good today. Still waiting for our ride number to come up. They're on 30-something, 36 or something, I think, the last time we checked. So it's getting closer, ever closer. In the meantime, we're enjoying our drinks, having a sit, and probably gonna go ride something else while we're waiting. We're not sure what yet. We don't really have a plan. Got to figure out something for lunch because it's getting to be about lunchtime. But we haven't really thought about that either. This was definitely a very unplanned day here. Other than the light cycle thing that we're trying to work around, we're just doing what we want, which is awesome.
We got it. So.
I love these. I was lamenting the fact that it was going to be warm the whole weekend here, and we probably weren't going to get a hot drink. But today, it actually is cool. It's supposed to be 80-something today. It's only 69 right now. It may warm up later, but
high 75.
right now, beautiful. Apparently there's a special Easter parade. I love the hippos. Yay, the white rabbit. And so I did confirm with one of the cast members who was holding one of the Tron discs that yes, you slide out a little piece of it and you put the little card in. It's very much like a SIM card for your phone, and you slide it in and it will change the color. Cora is a light blue, Sam Flynn is a dark blue. There's also the yellow is it Clue?
One of them is Clue,
Clue
and one is Rinsler.
And Rinsler. So yellow and orange, I forget which is which. And I just saw the movie recently, you'd think I'd remember. Anyway, not only does it change the color, but it also changes sounds that it makes. Like, she pushed a button and you could hear Cora's voice say something. I assume it's the same for the other one. So yeah, that's what it does. So it's very much like the lightsabers, where you buy the one thing and then you get these different chips that you put in there, and it makes it do different things. She said it's pretty durable, because I was saying, like, I would never throw this thing, and that's what you're supposed to do. She's like, well, it's pretty durable, but I wouldn't throw it too much. And they do fit on the backpack. She showed us there's that spot. You can tell that they would. But yeah, she just slid it right on there. And since it's a Bluetooth speaker, not only can it speak in the voices, but you know, you can play music and stuff on it too. It's a speaker, which is awesome, because I love fashion that's also usable. That is a pretty cool design. I'm very impressed by that. I wasn't expecting to be, but I am. And we're going to do one more update about the Tron merchandise. So remember those handlebars that we showed you? Josh talked to one of the cast members, and this is what they told him.
They said it's a bop it. The old style, like bop it, twisted, not punch it. I don't remember what else it was. Twisted, bop it,
Yeah.
hit it.
So anyway, that's what it is. So it's essentially like a modernized Bop It toy themed around Tron, which is kind of fun.
I don't know how that connects
actually
to Tron, but whatever.
Still looks pretty cool. Josh was mentioning how having Tron back there really opens up this area. So you have like Space Mountain here, and then you have the what used to be the exit to Space Mountain, And now you have Tron over there, so it just goes back further. It doesn't just sort of dead end here. And even though there was that walkway, most people didn't use it. The walkway was also a smoking area, like right in the middle of it, there was a smoking area, so it was a way to get there out of the way. There are no more smoking areas in the parks. They're all outside of the parks. And so, yeah, I like the way that this makes it look, because you've got all these rides next together. You've got the People Mover going there. You have Space Mountain over here. You have the vehicles, the kids driving the cars, or adults driving the cars. I've driven them myself. The Speedway, and then Tron Lightcycles. So it really does make this a nice area of the park now. Not that it wasn't before, but it really is nice. We've been watching this, just as Josh said, being built for years. And it's just incredible that it's finally here, right? Like, and our number's almost up. They're at 52, we're 54. We've been watching it slowly tick up. We're just walking up here. There's a certain point where I'm sure we'll be gate kept to make sure that we have our reservation. But I wanted to come up here and get some video and see what's up here. I did know from seeing other people's videos that there are restrooms up here. So if you're up here in this area, there it goes. If you're up here in this area, there are restrooms that you can go to. So you don't have to necessarily take care of that before you come up here. Although I'm sure they'll be pretty busy most of the time right now. The wind is picked up. I'm sorry for the extra wind sound if you're hearing it. And there's not a lot up here other than just the walkway. And the virtual queue is to the right, which we're not quite at yet, but we're keeping an eye out. But otherwise, there's not much else up here other than the restrooms and just sort of like a standing area. And the virtual queue is those people over there on the right-hand side. And that's a nice picture, yeah, of Space Mountain right through that. Our group has been called, and we are on our way to our very first ride of the Tron Lightcycle run, which I suspect we'll be riding a lot in our lives, but this is our very first one. And if we hadn't gotten the virtual queue, we would have paid for it for the first time. After the first time, we don't typically, but if we couldn't have gotten it, then we would have. You get 2 opportunities to do it, 7 o'clock in the morning. And that sells out in like minutes. Not sells out, but gets picked up in like minutes. And then you have another chance at 1 p.m. so long as you're in the park. You have to have a park reservation for Magic Kingdom to do either of those. And then you have another chance, like I said, at 1. Okay, so there's the machine that digitizes you and puts you into the grid. I recognize that because we watched it recently in preparation of doing this ride. The more recent one. I mean, we've seen the old, I watch the old one fairly often, but I did watch the more recent one recently. And it was better than I remembered, but still not great.
Attention users, you are about to be digitized into the world of Tron. For your safety in this world, all users should be in good health.
Welcome in, users. As you prepare to be digitized into the world of Tron, please spread across that digitizer and make room for everyone. Spread across that room to make room for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Users, prepare to be digitized into the world of Tron.
That was pretty cool.
Team Blue, welcome to the grid. Proceed to gates.
Oh, door opens. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. I like how they time it so that the narration happens just as you see one of the cars going by. I think they all stop here and then go before they launch out. That is so cool. Yeah, see, there might be another group in that different area. This is so cool. I know I keep saying that, but I've loved Tron for a long time in my life. I was alive when it first came out, and it was incredible. I never thought that I'd be riding a ride based around it. It just kind of seemed to come and go a lot.
In the light cycle run, there are winners and there are losers. Who are you?
We're Team Blue. I think everybody's Team Blue. So you go through an area where there's lockers. So you put your big stuff in the lockers. You probably put your little stuff too, but I don't think it's gonna, if you have a secured pocket, you're probably okay. And then when you leave, you'll go to the opposite side of that locker on the way out and use it. So make sure to know your locker number. You use your magic band or your ticket to open the locker. And word to the wise, it's kind of dark in there, so you put your magic band or your ticket on there, it starts to blink. There is a door, or there's a handle that you need to pull to open the door while it's blinking, but it's really hard to see. So keep that in mind. Because Josh had put his on there and you could see it, but it wasn't like popping open automatically like we were expecting. You had to pull it open. Wow. And then we came here and they told us left or right. We're on the left. I'm not sure the right's the same either way. But wow, that looks pretty cool. Okay, so people are mostly hunched over, just kind of showing you what the position you have to be is. You have to do a right leg, like a right angle on your leg down there when you're kind of kneeling on it. And so, okay, good. Just trying to get an idea of how to get on it. Okay, we're ready to give our opinions about the ride. We just got off, and I think one's coming by. Hold on. There we go. I thought it was great, but it's shorter than you might expect it to be. I didn't time it, but
It's probably under a minute.
yeah, I don't even think it's a minute.
I don't think so.
We'll look up like an official time at some point when we get out of here, but yeah, it's not. But it is fun. There was a person who wasn't able to get into it on the ride before ours. They just, it's not really about your weight or your height. It's kind of how you carry your weight. Because you have to, because you have to get into it. Here comes another one. Because you have to get into it, sort of kneel down, and then let this go past. Kneel down on it, kind of lean forward, and then you pull the handlebars back towards you, which lowers the back area and sticks out these kinds of holes that essentially fit into the backside of your knee, right?
Yeah,
so your knee has to sit in a right angle, and then the holes come out, and that holds you in place there, and then the back part holds you in place there. Now, there wasn't a flip or a loop or a corkscrew, so you're never upside down.
Which is so funny because I get the whole you can't bring your bag on because there's nowhere to put your bag. But I don't think you would lose your glasses or your hat or any of this on that.
Yeah, if you had very loose glasses, they would fall off. Like these glasses fit me pretty tightly. I probably could have kept them on.
Because they're not nearly as
but a hat definitely would have blown off if you have a brim because it is fast enough. Because the whole thing launches and then you just continue at that speed the whole time. But yeah, it is a fun ride. I'm glad that we did it. We'll ride it, you know, when we can, every time we come here. Especially if we can do the virtual queue because we usually have good luck with that.
I do want to say something which might be controversial. The problem here with Tron, this ride, it's not new. No. It's not new tech. And so the problem with it for me was we've done Guardians. And Guardians is a lot newer and in my opinion, better.
Yeah, like this ride has been around in I think Shanghai
for almost a decade.
I don't remember how long.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it just came here.
And you can tell
and
that it's not
here.
new.
But it's not new altogether. So anyway, yeah, you know, ride it and let me know what you think. I suggest it, we both do. It's just, you know, manage your expectations. It's not going to be as long as you think it might be, but it is a really fun ride and a really fun vehicle themed around a really fun movie. And so it's absolutely worthwhile to do it, even if you only do it one time. And here's another one.
They're coming very regularly.
Yeah,
it seems more regular
than
when we were in there. So
yeah, absolutely.
You gotta have a rabbit, right?
Absolutely, it's Easter. He saw my shirt with Oswald on it. He's gonna draw one. Which is pretty much just a Mickey face with longer ears.
So, bitch, you have the shirt. You know who Oswald is, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know how we got him back?
Yes, we traded him.
the sportscaster.
Yeah, we traded him for the sportscaster whose name I don't remember ever. Yeah, but I remember the Oswald part of that story.
Now, Michael.
Who was it?
Al Michaels.
Al Michaels.
Al Michaels. I don't think I knew.
Sportscaster.
Because that's a name I actually do know.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
That is so cool to see. For some context on that, I'm not sure if you could hear the whole exchange, but I'm wearing a Oswald shirt. And Oswald's butt's on the back of this. It's like he's bursting through me like a chest burster from Alien. Anyway, Oswald was the character that Walt created first, but when he was working for Universal, before he branched out on his own, or the equivalent at the time, I'm not sure if it was Universal at the time, it eventually became owned by Universal, but they sort of screwed Walt over thinking that, oh, well, we can do these shenanigans against you and you'll stay because you've invested too much time and effort in his character. He's like, nope, I'm not putting up with that, and he left and created his own company and created Mickey Mouse, who you notice is pretty much just Oswald with shorter ears. And so anyway, he gets lost into the obscurity of time, and then I don't know, 10 years ago or so. I think it was more than that, because we were going to Disneyland at the time. So 10, maybe 15 years ago, they were doing a trade between Universal and Disney.
Universal was trying to acquire the contract of a particular sportscaster.
Yeah, Universal was trying to get a sportscaster.
And the was Iger walked in and was like, the deal is done under one condition.
Yeah.
We get Oswald.
We get Oswald back. And they were like, who the heck is that? Because he hadn't been used at all. And so they're like, well, sure, that's no problem. And they got him back, and then they started putting him in the parks. And because two things this year. First of all, it's the 100th anniversary. Oswald was a part of that. And it's the year of the rabbit in the Chinese calendar. So he's been popping up a lot this year, and a ton of merchandise has come out, like the magic band I have right now.
And the shirt you have right now.
And the shirt I have right now. Because I like rabbits, and I've always been a big fan of Oswald. Ever since, I shouldn't say always, as soon as I learned that he existed, he became one of my favorites. And now they have him back. And they're actually putting out good merchandise for him. Usually it's just kind of meh. This is actually good merchandise. And I do have a picture with him from when we were in California, because he appears as a character there that you can meet up with. I'm not sure if he does anymore, but he did at the time. They have a food place over here. Beef and broccoli digital dumplings, we're gonna get those, and the buffalo chicken ones, we're gonna get those. That's gonna be our lunch. And then they have donut holes, strawberry isoform, mochi, okay. And then they have a watermelon refresher with yuzu citrus. That's kind of a lemony Japanese citrus, ginger and popping candies. Oh, like Pop Rocks. And then sodas and a bottled water. Yeah, I think these dumplings will be great for a light lunch. And here's what they look like. They're little dumplings, so they're not like the long dumplings. They're the kind of little round ones. This is the chicken. That's the beef or broccoli. That's the isoform strawberry something. Yeah, this all looks pretty good, and we were kind of hungry. This is new stuff, so we wanted to try it, now that we knew that it existed 10 minutes ago. Here is our opinion on that food. We liked it, actually.
All of it.
Some was better than others. Yes. Josh, go ahead.
The beef was actually not bad, but it seemed as if the only spice they understood was salt.
I think there's soy in it, so...
Yeah, so it's very salty.
It is very salty.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
The chicken...
was great, yeah. The chicken was definitely our favorite. But you know what, honestly, with beef and broccoli or buffalo chicken, I would generally go for buffalo chicken as a flavor anyway. And I felt like that flavor was better.
We're not big red meat people overall.
No, and to be clear, it's really the sauce. Like, the actual dumpling itself was delicious.
Yeah.
It's just that the sauce was very salty. Whereas the buffalo chicken one was great altogether. Not only was the dumpling amazing, the sauce was like, I was eating the sauce afterwards because I liked it so much.
It's like a spiced tomato. And
yeah, well, interesting with buffalo. Yeah, I mean, it's got that buffalo flavor.
But buffalo sauce isn't always tomato based.
I don't think it's tomato based at all.
Yeah, but this felt tomato based.
I didn't think it was. So clearly, different type of taste profiles. For me, it was more like the kind of buffalo sauce you would get on like a wing or something.
Although very liquidy and thin. And that's important
as opposed to thick.
You get like a bowl, which is an important thing because there's a lot of liquid in the bottom of it.
But they were both good. If I was going to get it again, I would get the buffalo chicken one. Not that the other one was bad, but it was just a little too salty. 3 of it was a little too much. I'm glad we split it.
Yeah.
We also had the strawberry isoform, which is good. It was one thing of mochi ice cream, which is essentially just kind of like a frozen ice cream that's wrapped in sort of this mochi, which is kind of a gummy
rice.
Yeah, I think it's made of rice. I forget, but it's sort of this
mochi.
gummy
He's
thing.
Not a big fan.
It's okay.
I like it.
But there's one in there, it's cut into quarters, and then on top of it was the
caramelized graham cracker and cheesecake foam, I think is what it said.
Cheesecake foam. And that all was very good.
Really tasty.
It really was very tasty.
Really tasty. And not super sweet. We've been saying that about a lot of desserts. I have a massive sweet tooth. I jokingly say I have a sweet jaw. I like sweet. It's hard for something to be too sweet for me. Him, however, too sweet's pretty easy.
It can be too sweet.
Yeah.
This was not too sweet.
No, great
what I
flavor,
really
too.
what I really liked about it was that honestly, I mean, the mochi ice cream was fine. I've had that before. The strawberry, it was good. But I really liked the cheesecake stuff. It was delicious. I don't know if I would get it again, not because I didn't like it, but because there are other things in this park that I prefer, like over the Dole Whip stuff or the orange and vanilla swirl. Like there are just things I prefer, but I didn't dislike it.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't rank up there with the things that I love normally. And here's the Tron Lightcycles at night. Let's see if we can see the lights. There we go. That's pretty cool.
Please keep forward-facing tentacles clear of oncoming vehicles. Thank you.
That is pretty. Josh wasn't necessarily looking for a shirt, and for the longest time we thought, meh, the Spirit jerseys, whatever. And then around Christmas, I put one on because I liked it. I'm like, this is really comfortable. So Josh has been looking for one for himself, and he didn't expect to come across this nice Stitch one. He's a big fan of Stitch. So yeah, it says Walt Disney World in the back, and then it has a Stitch on there, and then you flip it around, and you got the Stitch. I kind of like the acid wash look.
Yeah, tie-dye acid wash, but that face.
Yeah.
That's half of it, the face on both of them.
Yep, so this is $80 essentially, but then we're going to get our annual pass, so it'll drop it down by $16.
$64 plus tax.
Yep, so that's what it will end up being, but it's pretty good. We are getting close to the time where we'll have to head back and grab our bag and go to the airport, but we decided to take a trip around the Magic Kingdom on the train. Here's the gross swampland of
And I'm so glad
Orlando before it had Disney in it.
Next leg of our journey takes us to Main Street, USA. We'll head for Frontierland after that. Stay seated and keep your hands and arms, feet and legs inside the train at all times. Oh, and please vote about as much as a songbird loves the morning. But I'm still awed by the rockets and
Unidentified users detected in upload conduit area. Scanning. Calculating. Locomotive maintaining trajectory. Intervention not required. Users, please proceed to Tron Lightcycle run for upload. Once digitized, you may board your light cycle and join the games. Fair warning, users. Competition is fierce and fast. Stick together. It's your only hope for victory.
I was wondering if they'd have new narration. Yeah, prior they did a little bit of that, but now that it's open, the narration is just a little bit different. If you like the castle and you've got a spare $100,000, then this could be yours. It's gorgeous. I mean, hand glass blown by Miguel Arribas, who I think is in there actually right now making stuff. But it's gorgeous, just absolutely beautiful. Wonder how long it took to do that. It doesn't really say there. I like this various like pieces and parts, the keys, the headwear, and he is actually working on stuff right now. I'm not sure what it's gonna be. Ooh, I really do like that Sorcerer Mickey right there. Must have been recently done. And what an incredible skill. But let's say, for example, you have 250 grand, then you could have this castle instead. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. You just go all the way around it. That is amazing. I want to lead the kind of life where I can buy this.
Well, you could buy it, but you probably still wouldn't.
But if you only have 50K on you, then you could get this one instead. This is also very beautiful. I know I'm joking, but I don't want to diminish the how beautiful this is and the craft of it. That's incredible. And that does it for us from Magic Kingdom. Heading back to the bus, back to the resort, relax by the pool a little maybe, get a drink, and then take a lift to the airport. Thank you for joining us on our trip to Disney World. Our kind of last minute trip to Disney World, and to use points for our plane, and to ride the Tron Cycles, which just happened to be over when we were here, which is awesome. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, so there will be more, and we're going to ride more rides then. This time we just wanted to enjoy the ambiance. We knew it was going to be busy because it's Easter, and we knew we weren't going to ride everything that we would normally ride, but that's okay. We still had a great time and did something we'd never done before here, so that's pretty awesome. I consider that a win.